Hi everyone, it's Mohammed from Syd Cabs. This training course is designed to educate our drivers and operators about their obligations under the law. Syd Cabs acknowledge the Aboriginal people of the country on which we work, their traditions, culture, and a shared history and identity. We also pay our respects to elders, past and present, and recognize the continued connection to country. Let's begin with the topic. Drivers must comply with Syd Cabs policies. Onboarding. This course is designed to train our drivers to ensure they provide an exceptional experience for passengers. This encourages more people to choose our cabs. Value for our clients. The analysis represents one of the most comprehensive economic studies ever undertaken into New South Wales taxi industry and clearly shows that in New South Wales, the taxi industry annually contributes 1.15 billion to the New South Wales economy, and which is equivalent to 17,500 equivalent jobs. There are a number of taxi drivers in New South Wales, around 28,000, and the number of taxis in New South Wales around 7,000. Let's see the program outline. First, we will start with an introduction. Secondly, we will cover safety and compliance. Moreover, we will discuss how to care for the business and your passengers. Finally, at the end of the session, we will assess the level of driver performance. As a part of the introduction, the first topic is our safety management system. According to the legislation by point to point, we are required to identify, record, and address safety and risk associated with the provision of passenger service through the development of the safety system. As a taxi driver, you have an obligation to comply with Syd Cabs safety management system. If the driver does not comply with these obligations under the law, there may be penalties for non-compliance. The Point-to-Point Transport Act stipulates drivers safe responsible for their own safety, the safety of their passengers and others on the road. They must adhere to responsible policies and directives from authorized service providers, which is the Syd Cabs. The expectations for drivers are watchfulness, attention, caution, and prudence. Just ask yourself, how does that apply in the real world? If a driver fails to meet the duty of care, they may be considered negligent and any resulting damages can be pursued in a negligence lawsuit. This is especially important in cases where an individual may have limited ability to managing their own care. Risk management. According to the Act, it is essential to consider and evaluate all relevant factors to ensure health and safety. The factors include the likelihood of hazard or risk occurring, the potential degree of harm that may arise from the hazard or risk, and taking a step to eliminate or minimize the risk whenever responsibly practicable. How to record event of accident and how to respond. This is a very crucial part, and then we need every driver to respond accordingly. Reach out to the Syd Cabs base and inform them about the accident. If any is injured, please use your mobile phone to call 000 immediately. Syd Cabs prioritizes safety and has established throughout procedures for emergencies. If any emergency occurs, simply double tap our panic button to connect with our call center, where you will receive assistance and be monitored. If there are no injuries but a tow truck is needed, please report the accident by calling the police assistance line at 131 444. The final step is to visit our website and fill out the incident report under the Incident Report tab. Make sure you upload as much evidence as you can that will assist in taking necessary measures for current and future policies. To report an accident during the panic situation, it is important to stay calm and gather the necessary information. Collect key details, which includes date and time of the accident, location of the accident, details of the vehicles involved, including make, model, and license plate number. Second step should be driver and owner information, name and contact information of the vehicle, owner or driver at the time of incident. Get his driver's license details, insurance policy number, description of any damage sustained. In terms of documentation, take photos and videos of the scene, as these are crucial for the investigation conducted by authorities and relevant insurance companies. Witness and passenger information. Gather details from any witness and passengers in the vehicle. Police involvement. Record the name and number of the police station responding to the accident. Obtain the event number if applicable. By collecting this information, you can help ensure a smooth process for reporting the accident. If passengers need assistance, follow the guidelines designed by Syd Cabs. Pull over safely. Check with customer, are you okay? Make sure you must have a consent before touch the customer or any assistance. Notify the base or call 000 if required. Assisting customers in taxis safely and efficiently. There are a few steps. The first one, greet the customer politely. Start with a friendly greeting to create a welcome atmosphere. Help with luggage. If needed, offer assistance with luggage, especially for those who may need it. Ensure comfort and safety. Make sure the customer is comfortable and that all safety measures are in place. Navigate and confirm the route. Confirm the intended route with the customer to ensure they are comfortable with the journey, and ask they want tollway or without tollway. Provide a smooth ride. Focus on driving smoothly to enhance the overall experience. Assist with payment and fare. Help the customer with the payment process and clarify the fare. Explain fare discrepancies. If there are discrepancies in the fare, provide explanations or reference different apps to help them understand the difference. Farewell and assistance with luggage. Thank the customer, say goodbye or assist with unloading luggage, especially for individuals with disabilities. Now comes to the next topic, what is notifiable occurrences, how to report. It is important to understand what constitutes notifiable occurrences. Any situation requiring ambulance or hospital treatment, vehicle's faults or damage that prevents the vehicle from completing a journey or shift, regardless of whether a passenger is on board. Complaints made to the police that involve allegations of sexual assault, incident exposure, actual assault, physical threats, or other form of intimidation. Instances where a driver has been charged with a major offense. To report this incident at SYDNEYTAXI, please visit www.sydcabs.au and select the Incident Reports option. We will lodge the complaint through industry portal as required by point-to-point commissioner. Driving a cab can be a risky business. There are a few hazards that need to be addressed properly, including fatigue, drugs and alcohol, anger and stress, using a mobile phone while driving or focusing on it for job or trips request. Fatigue is one of the most common contributing factors to motor accidents. Handling fatigue. Fatigue is the second biggest killer on New South Wales roads. The only way to overcome tiredness is through sleep. To manage fatigue while driving, consider the following tips. Ensure you get a regular amount of sleep. Take a regular breaks during the long drives. Avoid driving if you are taking medications that specifically prohibit it. Exercise regularly to maintain overall energy levels. Remember to stay safe on the roads. Managing anger and stress, involving recognizing the signs, responding appropriately, and practicing relaxation techniques. How to prevent anger and stress? There are a few ways. Use good communication skills. Remember to say please and thank you. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Try not to take things personally. Take regular breaks to recharge. Ensure you get enough sleep. Eat regularly, but not in the car. Avoid negative environments and people. And you will see the positive feedback in the taxi industry. Drugs and alcohol policy for taxi drivers. Taxi drivers must adhere to a strict blood alcohol limit of under 0.02. It is important to note that certain prescribed medications and over-the-counter drugs can impair driving ability and should be avoided while operating a vehicle. Additionally, all taxi drivers must refrain from using illegal drugs. There is a zero-tolerance policy for the consumption of alcohol and illicit drugs among the taxi drivers. The authorized service provider reserves the right to require drivers to undergo drug and alcohol testing at any time. They are also permitted to search taxis and request that drivers empty their pockets as well as open bags or jackets in order to check for the presence of drugs or alcohol. There are different types of fares: rank, hail, and book services. Explaining fares to customers. Book service. Taxi drivers are subject to a fine of $1,000 for failing to use the fare calculations device for rank and hail jobs. All taxis must display the following information clearly to passengers: fare schedule, any additional tolls, fees and charges, including, for example, airport toll, differential pricing that may apply based on the time of day the journey is taken. Additionally, the fare meter must be visible all the time. Who are your passengers and what they want? Follow the rules and regulations. Understanding passenger expectations. Taxi passengers expect the following from their drivers. These are many factors, but few are: professionalism and expertise, accurate fare charges, friendly and polite demeanor, safe and direct transportation for their destination, neat and clean, appearance with good presentation, fair treatment regardless of the fare amount. By adhering to these guidelines, driver can enhance the overall passenger experience. Taxi user charter of rights. As a taxi user, you have the following rights. Route decision. You have the right to choose the route. Refusal of multiple hiring. You can refuse to share the taxi with other passengers. Radio control. You may request to have the radio on and off. Air condition control. You can choose to have the air conditioning turned on or off. Driver identification. You have the right to see the driver's photo identity card. Your driver should be courteous and helpful, know and obey all traffic laws, be neat, clean and tidy, wear a uniform. Your taxi should be smoke-free, clean and tidy, well-maintained. Your responsibility as a taxi user: you must pay the correct fare including any tolls and booking fees, refrain from eating, drinking or smoking in the taxi, avoid swearing or behavior offensively, wear a seat belt and ensure that any passengers under your care who are under 16 years old are also wearing seat belts or properly fitted restraints. Inform the driver if you need changes from a $1.50 bill or higher. The driver may refuse service if you are drunk or illegal drugs or unable to pay the estimated fare. If you make a mess or cause damage to the taxi, the driver can charge up to $120 for cleaning or repair associated with the damage. Assistance animals. Any driver who is providing passenger service in a taxi or hire vehicle, including a rideshare, cannot refuse to transport a passenger with an assistant animal or an assistance animal in training. For more information, please visit Point to Point website. www.pointtopoint.nsw.gov.au. This topic highlights drivers' behavior, best practices for good service. Avoid sensitive subjects such as politics, religion, and same-sex marriage. Look for ways to stay agreeable. Remember, you don't need to share the same opinion as your customer, but you do need to provide quality service. Refrain from discussing personal or sexual matters. Use conversation starters that include personal comments such as "Where are you from?" Be mindful that this conversation starter is not intended as a racial slur. Treat everyone with respect, regardless of their background or circumstances. If a passenger refuses to pay the fare, always contact your base or the Point-to-Point Transport Commission taxi fare hotline. Discrimination in Australia. In Australia, this is illegal to discriminate based on several protected attributes, including age, disability, race, sex, intersex status, gender identity, and sexual orientation. This applies in various areas of public life, including education and employment. The federal anti-discrimination laws in Australia are outlined in specific legislation that addresses issues related to frail and elderly individuals, mental illness, and children. Harassment. Harassment refers to behavior that is unwelcome and uninvited, causing humiliation, offense, or intimidation. All forms of harassment can result in losing the authority of drive or may even lead to police charges and imprisonment for serious offenses. Sexual harassment is the most common form of harassment. Bullying. Bullying is the repeated and unreasonable behavior directed towards an individual or group which can jeopardize their health and safety. This includes actions such as spreading harmful gossips or lies about someone. Bullying will not be tolerated. There are few examples of bullying: damaging another driver's property, using aggressive or intimidating tactics against the another driver. Here are a few statements that you can't say that. For example, do you have a boyfriend? Are you a virgin? Are you going to gay bar tonight then? You look really pretty in that dress. What does your husband think about you working late at night? So where are you headed tonight? What religion are you? Heading to the airport. Sorry, I'm not having that kid in my car. There are basic rules and guidelines by Syd Cabs. Taxi drivers must display their authority card issued by Syd Cabs on the inside of the windscreen. The fare meter should be operational and clearly visible to passengers with proper login and logout. All drivers are required to follow the pre-shift protocols established by Syd Cabs. Drivers must ensure that the cameras in the vehicles are functioning correctly. If a red light indicating an error is displayed, the driver is not permitted to provide passenger service. Driver must adhere to all requirements outlined in the onboarding form. Drivers are expected to collaborate with point-to-point officers when necessary. Both operators and drivers must comply with the Point-to-Point Laws and Regulations Act and is associated with the clause. We would like to thank you for watching the training video. If you have any further questions, please contact Muhammad, which is myself, 0437 158 154, or you can reach out Muhammad Zubair